this is going to be long. I'm sorry. Hey Dragonlings, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sky and I typically write paranormal romance under the name SD Haggis. In today's video, I wanted to talk about leveling up my author career. I will have another video that kind of goes more in depth about side jobs and what I do in order to earn money. But to keep this short and simple, I was working for a small press. I was doing formatting for them and I was doing blog management for them for the past couple months. And they just closed their doors and are I'm no longer employed with them, basically. And while it was sad to hear, I do understand all the reasonings behind it. However, it has made me take a huge step back and look at my own career as an author, because I was helping out with this company, or I was working for this company and doing things for them that in a way I'm not doing for my own self. If you've taken a look at my blog, the last time I made a post on it was March of last year. I'm really good about not doing work on my own site. And I've done formatting for ebooks, but even though I keep saying paperbacks are coming for my own books, I have not formatted them. And I have done formatting for other people. Again, that goes into side jobs. Yeah. I currently have 3 books out. 2 of them are novels in a series. One of them is a novella in a different series. I have works in 3 anthologies. 2 are charity anthologies, and 1 is the paranormal romance anthology that has recently come out that's going to be on a short release. If you are interested in that, check out Summer Solstice Seduction. It is linked in my description because it's only available until September. It's on a short release run, is basically what it comes down to. So I also have 2 audio anthology pieces out on my channel here on YouTube, which you can also check out in the description because I will put them there. Basically, anything I talk about, I will try to put in the description. So I have 8 works out total across novels, novellas, short stories, audio pieces. It's not where I wanted to be. This all pretty much started in 2018, sort of. It probably started before that. I would have to look at the release date of the one charity anthology I'm in, because keeping this as brief as I can, I was published under my married name with a small press, and I had a couple of short story and poetry collections out, and I had a couple of stories out under that name. And then I made the decision when that company closed. This is all before 2018, by the way. When that publishing company closed and I was no longer published with them, I wanted to basically rebrand myself, and I started publishing under SD Haggis. I had plans on doing anything under fantasy, mostly paranormal romance, some fantasy romance, urban fantasy, stuff like that. Anything that could be considered magical or paranormal would go under SD Haggis. And then I wanted to do like contemporary romance under another name. And if I ever go back to doing erotica for something other than ghostwriting, the jobs I had to do kind of turned me off of erotica. Sorry. 50 Shades didn't help. Anyways, that would be under another pen name. So basically, I came up with the idea to do all this stuff under different pen names and instead of my married name, which was fine. Nothing wrong with that, but it means rebranding myself. I've rebranded my channel here on YouTube. I've done a couple of things, and I've since published works under SD Haggis instead. And the whole reason I went into that is that this may have started before 2018, because one of the charity anthologies I'm in, I thought I published under my married name, and I published under SD Haggis instead. So whenever that was when I started the switch, basically. It was unintentional, but that was when it happened. And 2018 was when everything started. I went to a convention in Las Vegas called 20 Books Vegas 2018. They are still doing it every year. I'm going to be a virtual attendee this year. It's in November. I'm really excited about it. I learned so much that I still am not using half of what I learned. It's still kind of floating around in my noggin going, use me. And there's so much other stuff that I've forgotten that I probably should relearn. Plus, the industry has changed. It's 2021. There's so much different than there was in 2018, even though it was only 19, 20, 21, 3 years ago. It was only 3 years ago because it was in November as well. So, yeah. So much has changed in the industry that some of the stuff that I learned back then is not even viable anymore because it's changed. Anyways, but I went to that convention in 2018 and I started coming up with a game plan, and I started implementing that game plan in 2019. A lot of that has to deal with this particular house and our moving status and when we were planning on moving and how those plans changed, which I will not go into because that's a long story. But to keep everything short, or as short as possible, my husband and I came up with a plan. He switched jobs. He went to a better paying job that had some wonky hours. He would work 12-hour days. His schedule, while set, would be all over the place. And between him working that new job and me working the job I had at the time, I was working for Dell in a factory setting. I was not making computers. I was working on servers, the big giant cabinet servers. But between the two of us and our shifts and the hours we worked, there was no one to get the girls on and off the bus. And so we came up with the decision that I would quit my job. I would become a full-time author and a stay-at-home mom, basically, while they were home from school. It worked out because then COVID happened in 2020. But the game plan in 2019 was for me. Also, it doesn't help that I wasn't happy at the job. Yeah, there was a lot of things going on. But the final straw, basically, was the fact that there was a particular employee whose work I was always correcting when they screwed up. And my manager was the one coming up to me saying, hey, blah, 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 screwed this up. Can you fix it? And yet that person got a raise and I was denied it because I wasn't doing enough work. I wasn't doing enough work because I was spending half my time correcting their shit. So yeah, that was the final straw. And when my husband and I talked and we made this game plan, the plan was for me to write as much as I could in 2019, get various things ready for publication, and then just pop it all out in 2020. Game plan worked, sort of. I don't have exact numbers of everything I wrote in 2019, but I do know that I finished the 4-book series that is currently 2 books out now. And I finished a couple other projects in 2019 that, other than editing and possible rewrites, I knew were ready to go for publication. And I was ready for 2020. Then I gave my beta readers the first book in the 4-book series, and they were quick to tell me that it didn't work. It was a particular kind of story that didn't work with the dual POV, and I am forever grateful for the information they told me because they were absolutely correct. It didn't work. But that screwed up all of my plans because I waited too long to give them that book. And the changes I made to that book kind of flowed through every other book. So I am to this day still rewriting book 3 I haven't even looked at book 4 other than some notes I've made for the major plot points. And they were supposed to all 4 come out in 2020. So yeah, lots of things happened. Lots of changes were made. And 2020 did not go as planned. It worked out with my not working because when COVID happened and the kids were sent home first for remote learning, and then we switched them to homeschooling, I was able to take care of the kids. So in that regard, it was like a blessing in disguise, I guess you could say. But a lot of my plans had, as far as financially speaking, had been to write and edit as much as I could in 2019. And I want to say I finished somewhere between 6 and 8 projects between the four book series and the rest of the books that I did, the rest of the projects that I worked on. I cannot remember, and I wasn't really tracking it back then, not well. But it did change a lot of my plans, and things that I wanted to happen in 2020 did not happen. I even in late 2019 made a business plan that when beta readers read the first book and told me that it wasn't working and that I needed to rewrite the entire series because of it, I never basically looked at that 2020 business plan again. There were so many things I wanted to do. Like I wanted to publish the 4-book series. I wanted to get ready for a new series, and I wanted to start putting out these standalone books. And I had a collection of short stories that I wrote many years ago that I was slowly editing and posting to my newsletter for newsletter subscribers. Excuse me. That when that finished and my newsletter subscribers had read all 12, I wanted to publish that in a collection. It hasn't happened. I haven't finished posting the short stories for the newsletter subscribers. I haven't finished editing those short stories. When I put out the collection, there was a brand new story that I wanted to add in that newsletter subscribers would read first, and that hasn't happened. None of that has happened. The most I've done with that project is I had the cover that I purchased a long time ago for a different story idea that didn't work anymore, rebranded with the anthology, the collection name as well as the author name updated. And that's pretty much the extent I've done with that project. But the other thing is that I'm publishing all of my books under Brimstone Books. So if you look up my books, they're currently all published with Brimstone Books. But in my business plan in 2020, I wanted to basically start preparing to broaden Brimstone Books. I wanted to publish all my books under Brimstone Books, and I wanted to use it as a way to learn the publishing industry. And basically, if I fuck up my own stuff, it's one thing. If I fuck up someone else's, that's not good. So I wanted to use that as a way to learn from my mistakes and kind of streamline the process in order to start bringing on other works. And in my business plan in 2020, I said that I was going to spend 2020 and 2021 publishing my own works. I had 6 publications planned for 2020, including the 4-book series. And in 2021, I also had 6 books that I had wanted to publish. I have 3 out. And then starting in 2022, I wanted to do charity anthologies. I've been a part of a couple of charity anthologies now. I love the idea of charity anthologies. I like the camaraderie. I like the fact that a bunch of different people come together over a central theme or idea and write stories, and any funds that come from writing those stories and publishing them go towards an organization. I have done one for Alzheimer's Association, and then the other charity anthology that I have done is for the Trevor Project, and I'm really proud of those works. Someday in the future, there is another charity anthology coming out for the Alzheimer's Association. It is currently in edits. It's been kind of stagnant for a couple years now, and I just basically deal with updates when I get them. It's coming. I don't know when. It's basically what it comes down to. But I've really enjoyed that process, and I wanted to do more like that. The people who are organizing the 2 charity anthologies that I did, the one, they thought they were going to do more than one and they just didn't. And then the other one, the organizers are having difficulties, which is why it's taken so long to do this second. Technically, it's the third one, but the second one I've been involved with. That's why it's taken so long for it to come out, is because they are having difficulties in their personal lives and their work lives and all that stuff. Again, I don't blame them. It's just how it is. But this project has been in the works for 4+ years because of it. And it will come out when it comes out, kind of thing. And they've already stated they don't want to do anymore. And I was like, do you guys have a problem if someone else does it? And they were like, no, go ahead. So when I made my business plan for 2020, I had it in my thoughts that 2020, 2021, I would publish my own work, figure out what the fuck I was doing, and, learn from any mistakes I make. I was going to learn, I already knew formatting, but there's so many new programs out now that I wanted to learn all of the programs, and technology changes, so I was expecting that. So I wanted to get better at formatting, or at least subpar. I think I'm a decent formatter. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I wanted to get better at self-editing. I wanted to get better at marketing. I wanted to get better at ads. There was all these things that I wanted to do with my own works before I tried taking on anything else. And then in 2022, when I did start taking on other people's work, I wanted to be those charity anthologies. And in my 2020 business plan, I talk about the fact that I wanted to do 4 charity anthologies, 1 each quarter, 1 for the Alzheimer's Association, 1 for the Trevor Project, 1 for NAMI, which I cannot remember what it stands for. NAMI, National Association for Mental Health. That's not right. I don't remember what the I is. And then the last one was St. Jude's. I already support St. Jude's with every Amazon purchase I make. They donate money to St. Jude's. Plus, every year I donate a little bit of money to St. Jude's on my own. But I wanted to do a charity anthology that was dedicated directly to St. Jude's. And that's pretty much what I had planned for 2022, is that I had all these charity anthologies. I would start collecting the stories in mid to late 2021, so this year. And then in 2022, I would come out with the charity anthologies via Brimstone Books, 1 each quarter for each of these organizations. It's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now. I'm still learning how not to fuck up my own shit. So, yeah. And then, of course, like future plans listed in my 2020 business plan was that starting in 2023, maybe even adding in paid anthologies. Yeah. I don't know what Past Me was thinking, but Past Me had a plan that after beta readers shot down my book, Past Me never looked at again until it's time to renew it and revise it in a couple weeks ago. Things changed in so much, and I am not where I wanted to be according to the plan I made for myself in late 2019. But that's okay, because I am really happy with where I am. A lot of things have occurred that were not part of my business plans, that were not part of my thought process, that I didn't even think of doing. And I know some really great people who have given me some really great opportunities that I really enjoyed. For example, I've worked for 2 publishing companies now as a formatter, and I have really enjoyed working for them. 3 publishing companies as a formatter. 3 publishing companies. And I have done a bunch of freelance formatting. I have found out about a couple more anthologies now that I didn't know about beforehand. And I actually had work published in one with some bigger named authors than myself, bigger name indie authors than myself. And I've been really happy with how that has worked out and the opportunities I've had. I've also done the 2 audio anthology pieces now. That was something that never even crossed my mind as something that I could do. I had heard about people doing readings of their own work on YouTube, not of their own work, but of other people's work. So it never occurred to me to do something like that with my own work. I don't know why. because now it just makes a fuck ton of sense. And I'm just like, why didn't I think of that? Because I don't think of these things until after someone else has thought of them. Because, yeah, I've not thought more. But the opportunities I've had in place of things that, sorry, I'm pulling my shirt down. The opportunities I've had in place of what I thought I was going to accomplish are so different than what I am accomplishing. And it's just really weird in a lot of ways and really cool. Now we come to present day age and what I am doing to get back on track, basically, with what I have planned. Because I still want to do charity anthologies. I still want to do paid anthologies. And maybe even, maybe someday in the far future from now, maybe bring on other authors in Brimstone Books to publish their work if they are not interested in doing indie publishing. But again, that's far down the road once I stop fucking up my own shit and once I know what the fuck I'm doing. And yeah, I don't know if you guys know this. If you're new to this channel, you probably don't, but I published ebooks when I had plans to publish ebooks and paperbacks at the same time. And I still don't have paperbacks. I'm working on it. But yeah, I don't want to do that again. I want to do ebook and hardback at the same time and then paperback later. Like, that's the plan. That was my plan originally, and it didn't happen. And I'm sorry. But I digress. So yeah, what am I doing to get back on track? What am I doing to level up my author career? Because when I think about it, my career has been kind of stagnant as far as like publishing goes. I had so many plans and they all kind of fell through the trapdoor and they haven't been able to climb their way out. And this is me trying to climb my way out of the trap and get back on the path that I want to be on. Because one of the things I've noticed recently is that I have been treating my author career, my writing schedule, my publishing schedule the same way that I formed it in 2019. In 2019, I wasn't working. My husband was working a fuck ton of hours and my kids were in school full time. So I didn't have anyone at the house. Currently, my husband's working part-time. My kids it's summertime. We're trying to get them registered for school, but even once they're registered for school, it's going to be in September before they go to school because they don't start until after Labor Day here in Montana. But my point is the kids are home. My husband's home. I have pets that I didn't have in 2019. I had the dragon, the bearded dragon. That was the only pet I had in 2019 because the house we were living in didn't allow pets. So my dog stayed with my parents and we didn't have cats. That has since changed. We have 3 cats, 2 dogs, the bearded dragon, and yeah. I have the kids and then the husband, and I have a lot more stuff to do now and people to worry about now than I did in 2019. And yet, I have been treating my writing life the same way I did in 2019 when I had less stuff to worry about. And that is where the problem has lied. I needed to, when I stepped back and I took a look at all this, all of a sudden a light bulb went on and was like, this is why this is not working, you idiot. And I've kind of hinted around it at various things without ever actually smacking into it because I didn't realize what it was that was holding me back. And that's it. I'm treating my writing and publishing life the same way now as I did back then. And there were so many other factors involved that weren't prior. Instead of trying and failing to write 6+ projects a year, I'm pretty certain I wrote between 6 and 8 projects that year. And they were all like novels, not novellas. Novels for me are like 60K words, just so you guys know. I don't write extremely long pieces of fiction. I think I have 3 that are longer than 60K. 2 of them being 70, somewhere around that. And 1 of them being around 80K. But that's it. Everything else is between 50 and 60,000 words long. So 6 to 8 projects, that might be a lot for some people. It wasn't for me at the time. It is now. One of the ways I have kind of scheduled myself to accept that I'll write less work a year is by doing the 90-day writing challenge called the Write War. I will include a link. There's cat fur all over this. Where in the world did I have it setting that there's cat fur all over this? Anyways, I've been tracking my 90-day Write War writing challenge in this hero's journal using stickers to track various things. And that has helped a lot, is just kind of reevaluating my writing schedule and from that, my publishing schedule. And so far, it's only been a month. And so I might be talking out of my ass and speaking up too soon about it. But so far, it is working. And so far, I think it's a way to make a viable writing and publishing schedule for myself. Again, I might be speaking out of my ass with that. However, that doing it that way with the 90-day writing schedule, it coincides with 2019's plans of the charity anthologies coming out one each quarter. I think Past Me was onto something, because that means that I can write and publish 4 books a year rather than trying to write and publish 6 to 8 books a year, and actually be able to successfully do it. Especially with my writing process now. It has changed a lot since the way I did it in 2019. And I'm doing a lot of things differently now than I was doing then. And I will actually do a video about that, because I have had someone ask me about that. So that is coming. It's on the list of videos. I have so many videos I want to do and so little time to do them. So the first thing I did was reevaluate my writing schedule and how I wanted to go about that in the future and how I wanted to continue moving forward with that. And from there, I have kind of sort of not exactly done a new publishing schedule as well, because the way I'm thinking about it is the book that I finish writing in one quarter, I will publish by the end of the next quarter, if that makes sense. Maybe before then. It depends on what I'm doing with it. And with the projects that I'm working on now, currently, one of them is supposed to be a Kindlevella project. And as I continue working on it and editing it and sending it to my editor, as I get the edits back from her and I correct anything that she talks about, I will go ahead and start publishing that to Kindlevella. However, thinking back on it the other day, it will not be completely published by the end of this quarter. It will continue on because of the fact that we're doing it through Kindlevella over the next few months, honestly. Especially if I only post 1 chapter a week, which was my plan. But I'm also working on a second project that is a novel, and as soon as it's finished and it is edited, I will go ahead and put up a pre-order link for it, and it will run the pre-order link for about 3 months, and then I will publish it. So it will come out in the following quarter. I don't expect it to get finished in this quarter. I expect it to get finished in the next quarter. Just because I haven't started really writing on it yet. That's a thing. But the way I've planned it with the writing schedule is that I am going to write 1 major project every quarter. And at the end of the following quarter, I want it to go ahead and get published, so that it'll quarter 1, book A, quarter 2, book B for writing, quarter 2, book A published, quarter 3, book B published, and continue on like that. And they'll kind of do this hopping pattern. That's the goal, at least. And then I will have a secondary project that's kind of the fun project, where it'll get finished when it gets finished. And as soon as it's finished, it will go up for pre-order for the next quarter as well. So I may get anywhere from 4 to 6 books finished a year, maybe more, depending on the projects. I'm also looking at anthologies more. I do want to start actively seeking out more anthology opportunities, because I have really enjoyed being in the anthologies I've been in. I've met some great people, and I have learned so many things from doing the anthologies that I want to continue on that path. And I want to learn more about the behind the scenes publishing with anthologies. I want to learn more about the marketing and the ads aspect of anthologies, because they are a different beast than regular novels because of the fact of what they are. And especially like the charity anthologies I've been a part of, where everything revolved around a certain theme, but the genre was not dictated. So in those cases, it's harder to market those because you can't place them in any one genre, if that makes sense. Like the Alzheimer's Association one, some of the stories in there were fantasy, some of them were sci-fi, some of them were contemporary, and it can't fit in any of those categories solely by itself. It can go in all three, but it can't go in just one of them. With the charity anthology that was for the Trevor Project, again, some of them were nonfiction, some of them were fantasy, some of them were contemporary, some of them were sci-fi. It varied because of the fact that there were central themes for those anthologies versus a set genre. And there's so much to learn from stuff like that versus publishing a novel and publishing a novella, publishing a short story. And the other thing I want to look into more, not only just anthologies, but magazine opportunities. It's something that I keep forgetting exists. Magazines are out there. I used to read them all the time. I don't read them as much anymore, but there are still magazines that accept submissions for short stories and poetry and nonfiction, memoir-like pieces. I don't know the correct terminology for it. And there's opportunities I am missing because I haven't even thought about doing them. So that's one of the things that'll happen. Those be like the fun side projects that go on top of the main project every quarter. And those will get published when they get published. The last thing I'm doing that I am really hoping will kind of put a new boost into my author career and help me level up to where I want to be and get me out of this stagnant mode and actively working towards making this my career. Because let's face it, I haven't really actively done anything that'll make this a career. I got 3 books out. If you want to know how much money I'm making from those books, I will tell you in short that it's not a lot, if any, because I'm not actively pushing any of them. And if you talk to Caro, I ninja release them. But I can do a video on how much I'm making versus how much I'm spending. But just based on like making and spending, I can tell you, here's the making, here's the spending, and making is way, way, way down here. Probably a lot lower, far out of the camera view, but I'm going to pretend it's right here. And spending is way up here. So I've done one of those videos in the past, but I think that was in 2018. So I could do a new one, an updated one. I really enjoy when Chris Fox does them. So maybe I'll make them a yearly thing where I do them at the end of the year every year. And I talk about what I spent versus what I made. If you want to see that, let me know, because I'm kind of scared, because I can already tell you I haven't looked at my spending lately, but it's a lot compared to my making. Yeah. But anyways, so this is not a career for me right now. It could be classified as a hobby because I'm not making any money, and I'm definitely not making enough to cover all the things I'm spending, which was not a bad thing when my husband was working full time. But if you remember earlier, I mentioned that he's now working part-time. But the other thing that I am doing that will hopefully elevate me to the next level and get me to the point where I am actively making this a career is that I've signed up for several courses and seminars. I am doing the 20 Books Vegas 2021 convention. That is, I'm going as a virtual attendee, and I will watch the live streams, and I will make lots of notes, and I will rewatch live streams when they're no longer live, more than likely. I have Masterclass. There are several classes that I want to watch. I was watching the Neil Gaiman one. I think I'm about halfway through that one. Amy and I were watching that one together and taking notes together in the workbook that we printed out for it. And I want to finish that one. I want to rewatch everything, take notes, reread the workbook, and then continue it and finish it. And then there's other ones. I really wanted to do the R.L. Stine one. I wanted to do the James Patterson one. And they're constantly adding new classes that I really want to participate in as far as like Masterclass goes. So there's that. Two recent, by recent, I mean, they were a couple weeks ago, seminars that happened was the Find Your Readers Summit and the Get Published Summit. Both of them were over the course of a weekend or week. I think one was over the course of a work week and one was over the course of the weekend. And they were free to attend if you watched them live then and there. But because I was having internet issues, I didn't have good internet. I went ahead and bought passes to both of them. And I have lifetime access to both these seminars now. Michelle Schusterman was talking about the Find Your Reader Summit in her newsletter. And then Derek Murphy is someone else whose newsletter I get. And he was talking about the Get Published Summit that I signed up for. The other thing is that I've signed up for Derek Murphy's Paid to Create class, which I have started watching the videos for and I haven't finished yet. So I want to finish that. That was actually in my Q3 goals, is to finish that one and the Neil Gaiman class. Don't know if either one will happen because I haven't even started. I keep forgetting I have internet issues and that I can't do everything I want to do without internet. Man. But the last two courses are both ones that I really want to do. Like, I know that when I take those courses, I will have learned enough to kind of start dipping my toes into the sand with the one course as far as ads go, and with the other one, definitely dipping my toes into the sand with course ads. And the one I have signed up for, we had the money, I have the time. So I went ahead and said, fuck it. I've wanted to sign up for this course for a really, really long time since I first heard about it. And after having a conversation with my husband, we were just like, go ahead and do it. And so I did. And that is Sarah Cannon's Publish and Thrive course that she has over on her Heart Breathings channel. She talks about it all the time on her Heart Breathings channel. She has two channels, one for readers, one for authors. The Heart Breathings is the one for authors. Anyways, my point is that I went ahead and signed up for it. It started August 9th, and I am slowly working my way through that one. I have printed out the workbooks for it, or at least the first one so far, and I have dedicated an entire disc-bound notebook for it. And then the other course that I want to do that is currently not open for enrollment, and I'm hoping by the time it is open for enrollment, I have the funds to do it. And that is the Mark Dawson's Ads for Authors. It is also, both of these are lifetime access courses. So the cool thing about the Publish and Thrive and Ads for Authors is once you pay into the courses, even if there's updates, and I can tell you right now, Sarah was talking about she's getting ready to revamp the Publish and Thrive. This will be the last time that it's done for the price point it was, and it's going to get some extra lessons, classes. I can't think of the right word. It's a course. It's separated into classes. That's not the word I'm looking for. Anyways, the point is that it's about to get new information. It's about to be updated. And so I'm really glad I got it when I did, because A, it was at a price point I could afford, and B, when it is updated, I'll be able to get all that information because I have lifetime access now. The same is true for the Ads for Authors. When I first heard about it, it was just Facebook ads. Now it's Facebook ads, Amazon ads, and BookBub ads, which I desperately need. BookBub is a monster I've not even pointed at because I'm not ready for it at all. And I've heard lots of people say they get really good results with BookBub ads. So I eventually, when it opens up for enrollment again, I am hoping, fingers crossed, hoping I have the funds for it, because I will sign up for it in a heartbeat if I do. And if I don't, I'll be really sad. It's offered twice a year, I believe. But again, because everything changes in the industry so much, whenever that one opens up for enrollment, every time there's new information with each course. So again, with the lifetime access, once I sign up for that course, every time it updates, I will have access to that information. And I'm really looking forward to that. So all of this to say is that I will be redoing my business plan for the rest of 2021. I'm not even going to look ahead to 2022 yet. I am scared to. We have a little less than 5 months left of this year, and I'm going to focus on what I can accomplish in the rest of this year. And then in December, I plan on redoing my business plan for 2022 using what I learn about myself between now and then and how much knowledge I've gained between now and then to make a clearer path for myself in 2022, 2023, and hopefully 2024. Because what I would like to start doing is planning for every 5 years. And because my brain likes 5s and 0s, it'll be 2020 to 2024. 2020, 2021, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then 2025 to 2029. Yeah, that's the way to work. But yeah, I am hoping that whatever I learn about myself between now and the end of this year, I will be able to use to recreate a new business plan that will benefit me for the rest of 2022 and hopefully start projecting me forward and getting my author career where I want it in years to come. So I have a lot of work ahead of me. I have all these courses complete, Paid to Create, the Get Published Summit, Find Your Reader Summit, Masterclass classes, Publish and Thrive, Mark Dawson's Ads for Authors when it comes available, and the 20 Books Vegas 2021 event. So that's 7 things that I'm going to be learning lots of stuff from. And oh my God, by the end of this year, my brain is going to be mush. That's something to look forward to. But I'm going to hopefully use all that knowledge to make a smarter and better plan for myself in the upcoming year because I'm tired of being where I'm at. And in a lot of ways, it feels a lot like going 1 step forward and then taking 2 steps back. And I want to stop taking 2 steps back and start taking 2 steps forward for every 1 step back. It would be really nice at least. And I hope you guys will continue staying with me on this journey because I plan on doing a lot more videos talking about various things. One of the videos I'm going to be doing really soon, I've already started editing it, is I wanted to basically do an all-out kind of sort of not exactly cover reveal. I've mentioned it in a couple different videos that I have 20 plus covers for stories. I have a problem. I accept that I have a problem. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. But one of the videos I want to do is basically a cover reveal. There'll be a lot of changes made to some of the covers because they aren't final covers. But I kind of want to give you guys an idea of what I'm looking at as far as like what my future plans are because the way I have started working my new writing schedule is that I'm focusing on books I have covers for already. Let me know if there's anything you want to hear about specifically in the comments below because that's all I have for you guys today. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, Dragonlings.